Yeah, this video is to Paul Martins, or Martinez, with an S, Portuguese spelling. He writes, I've, sorry, this is under my video, you must learn and apply. He writes, I've been around both bad boy players and, or in, smooth PUAs, and they both have had success. Most guys are PUA without knowing it, and that's where I disagree with you, Paul. What you don't realize is you copped into the whole PUA thing, that they've been around forever. No, they're a new 2000 invention. This stuff started back in the earlier 2000, 2004, 2005, 2004, the earliest. They were not called PUAs, okay? Pickup artist. This is a new thing. How long have players been around? You see, you fell into that whole nonsense that PUAs are the top dogs when they're not. That's what they wanted you to think. That's what they're trying to condition you to think, is that they are the right way, and these African Americans or whatever white players, any kind of player in the streets, what they call naturals. Notice how they try to separate, okay, and they want to make theirs the better way. But what kind of results has it actually proven for the students? Think about that. Think about in Mystery's first show what the woman said to Cosmo. I quote, "It's not what you said, it's how you looked." Okay? You do know Cosmo. He was on Mystery's first show of the pickup artist. And I just quoted you what a woman told him as to why she went with him. It's how you looked. So when you talk about a smooth PUA, uh, more than likely those guys are more than average attractiveness. Okay, they're better than the idiots wearing the mohawks and the stupid bones in the nose and all that nonsense. Now, if it was not what he said, and pickup artists base their entire game on spitting some openers and some stories. At least they did back then, stacking stories. Now they're trying to teach you more natural stuff, but back then that's what it was about. If it's not what he said, that means whatever he said and he learned from PUA was nothing but some junk. Okay, and she was looking at him, as from the physical standpoint. Now, not all women look at a guy just based on looks. You know, if a guy's talking to them and he's about average, but she likes his energy, he's confident, he dresses well, he's got something going for himself. Women choose all that also. Okay, but this was a pickup situation. They're out in the clubs, and the clubs unfortunately can be very highly physically oriented because you can't talk. You can't talk to a girl in a nightclub. Anybody that's been in a nightclub know that's really hard to do. You got to end up yelling in their ear, especially in those big clubs, techno clubs, when the music's just blaring at you. The big clubs. Okay, maybe little clubs where they keep the music at a certain level. You can talk a little bit, but it's kind of stupid. All right. So let's go on here. So without them knowing it, so they're not PUAs. They're actually just players. All right. PUAs are people who are trained in this robotic system of pickup artists. So you're trying to call players pickup artists. No, PUA is that robotic system that started in about 2004. Okay, so they cannot be PUAs without knowing it, unless they're trained in that robotic system. Do you see your mistake? So it's not true. PUAs are new. Us players, I was a player back in the 90s. Okay, go back to the late 80s. I was already a player. Because if you guys know my life story, I went out with a girl named Susie. She slept with her ex-boyfriend. I said, well, two can play that game. And I became a player. This is going back to, I was 28. I'm 54, do the math. 1980, I think it was 87. 1987. Yeah, it was before I started my business full time. So 87, 2004, 87, 2004. So do not try to say people are PUAs without knowing it, unless they have been trained in that system. Okay, because a guy is good with women does not make him a PUA. Okay, it makes him a natural a player. And we are the real people that these people study. You got to understand that that's the truth. These people, at least they claim, they come to our world and study us. That's what David D said. It is to write the book, Double Your Dating. He said he found a guy that was good with women. You know, he's at the club, saw a guy that's good with women. Yeah, that whole story, which was all made up crock of shit. But anyway, they do. Some of them do study natural players. Players, okay. And I've got it documented. Just give me a moment. Got to go through, let's see, Player's Handbook. Let's see, ebooks. Da, 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 da. Let's see, I'm looking for the book right now where the fellow was talking about. Hold on. How they go to the urban community. Okay, since the 90s, popular culture has taken a dramatic turn, starting with black culture rising up to take the music industry by storm with rap and hip hop. And that's true. I lived through it. You guys might have been boring then, but I lived through this stuff. Performers such as Ice-T, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, this is going way back, set the stage with lyrics, blah, blah, blah. He goes on talking about, they were singing about rapping about their ghetto life, womanizing. It went truly commercial, and rich white kids in suburbia America, USA, watching MTV. MTV used to do this, a lot of videos back then. Buying up CDs, started picturing themselves as living the lives of the famous performers. Somewhere in here, he talks about how they went to the African American community and bought back the game. Let's see. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Player rule number 1. And that's the truth. Let's see. Where is that? I don't want to waste your guys' time, but when I find it, I'll put it in the description box below this video, word for word. So I may have to go to I believe it's in this one. If not, this book, this is the same author that wrote this second book. He had 2 books. And see, it's part of the introduction. But my point is that these geeks, these nerds, whatever, if you want to call them PUAs, they went to the urban community, study what they were doing. Now you got to remember that these guys are pretty smart guys. And smart guys, when they study something, they don't get the whole truth of what's going on. They'll miss the psychology behind things, why a player does things. They missed a lot of the stuff. But they codified it. Yeah, there's a stripped down version of the book. So I got to find the big version of this book. But they miss the nuances, okay? Someone just said, be careful, because they scared that guy Gordon. And I got a password for Gordon's book. His book, Get All the Girls You Want. And Arthur Gordon is an African-American brother. As I said, I talked to him briefly. Yeah, I will have to find that just for you guys to see. And I will put it in the box below. So anyway, let's go on with what he said here. Most of our guys are PUA without knowing it. That's incorrect. They're players. Again, they have to be studied in that system the robotic system of learning openers and all that kind of shit. But the good ones, you can't argue with the results. I've seen them in action firsthand and seen them play mind games with ladies and fuck them. But not everyone can pull a tactic like that. You gotta have the persona. Exactly. And what you don't realize, Paul, is that there are some smart players who have come to this community. Okay? They're usually the ones who look good. They're the better looking guys, the pretty boys. Like there's one down in Miami, a pretty boy Cuban guy. And he's never had a problem getting women. But he's in the community now trying to teach. If you've seen him, you got like a Latino name. If that's who you're talking about, that dude has never had a problem getting pussy. I've seen a couple other guys. They're good looking dudes, and they're doing that whole. I used to be shy. You notice the story's all the same. I used to be shy and quiet, and then I learned this. That's a common story. That's what they teach you in internet marketing. Okay, it's just the same shit being spit over and over again to you. Okay, continuing. With the ladies, blah, blah, blah. Now, I've seen players, and they are a whole different league. They truly are dominant, a true hybrid, but would you say PUA are worth a minute or so to listen to? No. Honestly, no. I always spit the truth, okay? I'm not trying to steal their business, okay? I'm not trying to take money out of their pockets, as one of them said to me. I tell you why you trying to take money out of my son, something like this, out of my son's pocket. Why you trying to take money out of my son, away from my son? RSD dude. The reason is because I haven't seen too many of them that are worth a damn. Okay? Honestly, I haven't seen too many of, and these are the gurus that are worth a damn. I know what their students are. To teach robotic stuff to a group of males that already are kind of creepy and robotic to begin with is a goddamn shame. They need to be teaching these guys how to be more natural, how to assimilate in with the normal people. Okay? So to teach these people and take their money like that, I think is a goddamn shame. Now, if they are trying to change a little bit, but they're not changing fast enough for me. If they were teaching guys how to have confidence, how to dress, giving dressing courses, hit the gym, how to dance, how to communicate, actually how to have a fucking conversation, I would have shit to say there, Paul Martins. I would never say a bad thing about him ever again. Okay? But you don't see the majority of them doing that. They want to do the boot camps, charge $5,000 for this, and make money and go off to the next city. By the way, this industry is a big-ass billion-dollar industry, practically. I just was looking at an internet marketers thing, and they were trying to get, their program was pick one of these industries, and dating or relationships was number 3. Internet marketing was one of them, and I think dieting, weight loss was, I believe, the first one. So no, I don't think they're worth a minute or two to listen to, honestly. I'm serious, honestly. Okay? Anything that makes a guy more fucked up, that's already fucked up, is not worth listening to for 1 minute. Not even a second. Look at the guys who are on my channel who have tried this. And they're on my channel now. All the people that have tried this have come forward. Okay? So no, buddy. I look at your channel. I see that you go to RSD and stuff like that. So I guess it may work for you. Their system also is a numbers game, and that's what the street players do. They do a numbers game anyway. What's good about the system is that even though it's robotic as fuck, what they'll tell the guys is, well, it takes time to become more natural. Like, you got to, here's one of the words now, calibrate. Calibrate. So basically, being this robot man, trying to memorize all these stories in your head, which is going to fuck you up even more and make you nervous, you got to calibrate. No, not yet. They're not worth a minute just yet. They have more growing to do. Because remember, they're new. You guys are new, Paul. Okay? You're new. You're like brand new babies in the game. Given these atomic bombs, or what you think is atomic bombs. Running around, trying to get women interested in totally unattractive males, but and think by giving them some stories to stack and tricks and machination stuff. No. Look what the success rate is. It's abysmal. It's depressing. The success rate is very bad. Now, as I said, if they do start teaching guys to naturalize themselves, normalize themselves, and say, hey, look, man, okay, I'm talking to you face to face. You're kind of creepy, so we got to change that. Okay? They got to give these guys the truth, the brutal truth. Okay? You can't send that creepy guy out there over and over again against these girls who are very sensitive to a man's energy. You can't send these guys who are lacking in balls and masculinity out there to women that want masculine males, thinking that saying some tricks is going to get them to spread those girls spread those legs for these guys. No, not even a second. Okay, I don't want to shit on them anymore. I'm kind of wore out and tired of it. I usually stick to myself and stick to my own guns, and all that kind of stuff. To the guys that hoe chase on my site, I tell them it's an energy thing. If you got the energy, knock yourself out. I have nothing to do with that. I'm teaching guys how to come up in their lives, how to make their game like a business. And the pickup art is like a telemarketing thing. Okay, let me see if I can give you this correlation here. Pickup arts are like the shotgun approach. Aim your shotgun into a forest, eventually you'll hit a game. You hit some game. All right. My style is like rifle marketing. Now, if you go do this, Paul Martins, go Google shotgun marketing, and then Google rifle marketing, and see which one is the preferred style of marketing by marketers. Now, I believe a lot of the pickup artists, they were studying marketing, because I see a lot of marketing stuff in their style, but they deliberately applied the shotgun marketing because that is more effective on the minds of these desperate, strange, many of them strange types of males. And no offense if you're a pickup arts guy, okay? No offense. But the best thing for you is to actually get more, more normalized. I know smart guys have trouble, communicating with normal people. What do you think is going to happen when you start communicating with normal chicks, let alone normal dudes? So forget that. Normal chicks. And all about their makeup and the this and that, 90210 shit. I'm going back in time. But, that's all they're about. Tatum Channing, what the fuck? How are these guys going to communicate with these women? When they're coming from way up here, the cerebral thing, or way over here in the cerebral space, and these women are over here. They got to teach guys to learn how to communicate with these women over here, instead of stacking a bunch of stories and being even more unnatural. So no, Paul. No.